All right.
We're live. We are live. What's up, friends?
We are live!
Hola! Hello!
Hola, my friends and my enemies.
And welcome to the Once Revealed Variety Hour.
In
We are your hosts. I am Nate.
Nate Wazowski.
Nate Wazowski.
Nate Wazowski. And I am Scott Patton.
I'm Will.
And that's Will.
Will is my favorite Hill William.
That is me.
That is your official title. I mean, you are the Hill William of the band.
Indeed.
I can't think of it for you, really.
King of the Hill. Hill William.
King of the Hill William.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought of that.
It
It has such a ring to it, too.
does. You alright over there, Will?
Yeah. Can you guys see the stream?
I'm about to get onto here and pull
Just
it
want to
up.
make
so I
sure
can-
that it's running. I'm having issues, but I think it's my computer.
Uh-oh.
Here it is. Yeah, I see it.
Okay,
Here
cool.
it is.
It's going.
Yeah. And I'm going to share it right now. Share this shit. We'll write a post. Join us.
Anybody write down any questions for today?
Oh, I've got some more would you rather things.
Those are questions in the specific form.
But you know what? There is one question I need to ask all of you. About
Yep.
all of you. Both
Yep.
of you. And that
Yes,
question.
Go ahead.
How are you guys? What's up?
I'm good.
Weeks. Go ahead, Will. Anything else? Just good? You just good?
No, I'm just good. That's it. It's the whole thing.
Cool story. All right. Mine, not too bad. Not extremely eventful. At least nothing's coming to mind right now. Maybe I blocked it out of my memory.
It's
Yeah, you heard when I came over? You know, with the...
Oh, what's that?
When I came over? You know, with the...
Oh, yeah, right.
I'm uncomfortable.
I'm not sure exactly what that means, but
Now
Well,
that
I
you
don't
you
know if that'd be a good time if you're... When do you do anything when you're, giggity and it involves...
No, we were eating hot dogs. We were just hanging out, having beers. And you just got all weird all of a sudden. I don't know. You started, shaking around and you started saying some weird things, like, I am the angel of death. And then you fell on down and passed out. I don't know. You're glowing a little bit. It's kind of strange. I don't get it.
start talking
Wow.
backwards.
Yeah, he was. His head turned.
I started walking down the stairs backwards, fucking climbing up
Yeah.
the stairs backwards. Started
Yeah.
foaming at the mouth.
This is great
Hey,
content.
then my head started spinning and started crawling up the fucking walls.
And you
Made
picked up the hot
steam.
dog. It's gross. I didn't like that at all. Mostly the puking part. All the rest of the stuff I could deal with, but you threw up all over the place, man.
Oh,
I had to clean
Nathan,
it up.
you're all about throwing up, because you like watching people throw up spaghetti on brains and then shave their hairs and put it on the brain.
Yeah. Yes,
What are you
definitely.
talking about? I'm so confused.
Okay, so
Let's
that's...
start over. Hi, friends. We're Once Revealed. I'm just going to ignore the last 4 minutes. That didn't happen.
Oh, shit.
brain thing, it was actually something that Alex Gray did back in the 70s when he was doing performance art.
I do remember you talking about that.
Yeah. So I don't know if I told the world about this yet, but I'm going to. Because
I think you did, but go ahead again.
Oh, well, so there's a performance art bit that Alex Gray did when he was, I don't know, I think he was in college at the time or something. I don't know. It was back in the 70s. And and what he did was, there's a performance piece. He sat at a table. I don't think he was not wearing a shirt. I don't know if he was wearing pants or not. He could have been naked. Who knows? But he had a plate of spaghetti, and he had what looked like a human brain. I don't know if it was a real human brain, because I think he was at a morgue or something like that for a while. So it might have been a real human brain that he had there. And so he ate the spaghetti. he shaved his head and put it onto the brain, or no, put the brain onto the hair, threw up on it, and then put it in a bag and tied it up. And that was the art.
This is something I've been curious about. Like, did he just like intentionally regurgitate it? Did he bite it and just did he like chew it and spit it out, or did he actually vomit it?
No, I think he actually vomited it. It said, I vomited the spaghetti onto the brain, I put it into a bag, and tied it up. And that was
There's a narrator going on during this whole thing, like.
No. This is out. Well, there's a book that I'm borrowing right now. That is great. Like it's his artwork book, and it's got all this really. It's got his old stuff and a lot of his new stuff. I flipped through it some. I haven't gotten through a whole lot of it, but this was him writing about his art. So he was saying, "I did this," and it was weird, man.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Pretty
Damn weird. I'd like to see it actually, just for the sake of watching something fucking weird.
Yeah,
but.
it's like the opposite of what you'd say, like if you're one of those kind of, I don't know, if you're one of those guys who's talking about a band they used to like, they're like, yeah, I like their older stuff. But with this guy, I feel like I like his newer stuff a lot better. Very cool. All the things you see on the Tool albums and whatnot. Yeah. It's cool.
Is that really his newer stuff? Like that's pretty old.
Yeah, dude, he's been making art since the 70s, man. I mean,
Damn.
all his life actually has been like, that's all he did was art.
Is the Tool? I was just gonna say that the Tool album I'm thinking of is the one with like all the eyeballs. Is that it? That's his art.
Yeah.
That's him. Right.
Gotcha.
If you're thinking of a Tool album, it's his art.
Yeah, it's like all of he did.
I remember watching some music video, and I'm curious if he had anything to do with it. It's like a claymation with Tool. I forget what the song was. Maybe it was Schism. It might have been Schism.
That sounds about right.
Was that him that was involved in that?
Probably. He does stuff. He does video art sometimes.
Does he?
Yeah, he does do that kind of stuff.
I see. I've always been interested in that type of shit. How long it takes to create a claymation video? Like, it must take so many hours just to produce.
And that right
something
there is why we're never gonna do a claymation video.
That would be super expensive and super time consuming.
It will take so long. So long.
Yeah.
What we
Yeah.
can is we do a music video that is depicting us trying to make a claymation video. And then mashing the stuff with a sledgehammer.
I like the second half of that idea much better than the first half.
Well, Will, we wouldn't. All right, Will, we wouldn't have to actually make a claymation video. We would just pretend to. We would just have like food, making them up, and then show you specifically. Now that you said that, like getting mad about how long it's fuck, like, and then his arm breaks off. You're like, fuck, and yeah.
It sounds
Just
like
like
a riveting video.
I think it is. It's almost as riveting as our NBA idea.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the NBA idea would be quite something.
Indeed.
I think
Sitting in an NBA, sitting on the pews or whatever the hell you whatever the hell you call them. Just
Benches?
sit there talking to yourself.
Scott,
we argue.
do you know the
Sure.
word benches?
No.
It's
No.
important to me that you know the word benches, because it's a common word.
No.
Okay.
Fuck
Alright.
you. I don't know that word.
They're pew.
Let's go fuck myself.
It's the holy government. That
The holy government. I hate this.
the holy
Scott, did
It
you
was
have
the first word
questions?
that I did.
your vows. Dude.
Oh, on to some questions. These topics are getting too deep.
We're gonna get
Okay.
canceled by the government.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, man.
They know all about our schemes.
Westerfield is not sponsored by the United States government, nor the NBA or the DMV.
I never want to be, actually.
Yeah.
Bunch.
I think that's the opposite of the dream.
I think
Exactly.
I think that's literally working for the man, which is counter to everything that a band stands for.
Right.
Mm.
All of the ways.
All of the ways. Okay.
What you got, Scott?
I got questions, and they're formed in this manner. Where does your creative inspiration normally stem from? And what motivates you to write music, etc.? I don't know why I put etc on, honestly.
I love that movie.
Well,
about the little alien, ETC.
Yeah, it's not a phone. It's just it opens it up.
etc photo.
Yeah, that one. the Spielberg one. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways. So, what you guys got? Anything?
Go ahead, Nate.
Where does your creative inspiration stem from?
So, what kind of creative inspiration? Are we talking specifically about music, or are we talking?
Yes. What motivates you to write music? Yeah, music.
Really, what motivates me to write music is other people writing a song that they need drums for.
Fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, at the same time, Nathan, you have actually written, like, maybe a phrase for some lyrics that we had for, what was it, Still Waiting? So there was some creative inspiration there. What made you think of that?
Well, I think a lot of times, I don't know if it comes from like a specific inspiration necessarily. I think sometimes something just kind of occurs to me.
Yeah.
And I think that, some people, it's like they get into a certain state of mind or a certain kind of thing happens in their life and they need to express that angst or feeling or whatever. And I think for me, like, I don't know, like, I don't really write songs or anything per se. When I have tried to write music in the past, like in college and stuff, I approached it in a very intellectual way, and it didn't really exactly work.
Yeah, it doesn't usually work out in the intellectual manner.
Right. But
Trying to put math into words.
Right. So now, just sort of listen to whatever's happening in my head, and like if I'm coming up with a drum part, for example, for one of the songs that you bring in, it occurs to me immediately. Usually, whatever, or at least the framework of whatever the best drum part was going to be for that song. I can kind of just know intuitively what that thing is going to be, at least a general idea of it. And it's not super often that it happens where I just struggle to come up with something. And Lost in Transition actually is one that gave me some trouble until like just recently. At this last practice, I did something towards the end. It's like that double chorus at the end. I could never think of a good thing to play for that second chorus. And so I'd always do some filling and soloing kind of stuff, but it always felt kind of weird. But then, like, different at this last practice, and I was just like, oh, that's what it is. That's what I needed to do here.
It's crazy. We've been playing that song for a long time, and it's just like, I've had those moments too, where it's like something just doesn't feel right, and then like out of the blue, when you practice like, I don't know how many times the same song, and it just kind of out of the blue, bam, there it is.
Yeah.
There.
Well, similar thing happened with Take It Away. You remember that change that we made recently, a couple practices back?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't remember where I heard that first or whatever, but it just occurred to me one day. I might have literally been in the shower. Or I was just walking around my house doing whatever I was.
That's where your creative inspiration comes from. We just, every time we record something, we need a shower and handy just so you can go in there and just meditate on your rhythmic abilities.
To shower meditation. I'm like, yeah.
Mine would be a little lower.
So,
What was
yeah, I
that?
feel like attack another cat. So if you hear some horrible yowling in the background, it's just cats fighting each other. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Just cats tearing each other to bits.
Cats.
Hey guys, give me 1 second. I'm having audio problems. Let me try to fix this.
Okay.
So I guess me and Scott will continue.
Yeah. What where does my creative inspiration normally stem from? Just life experiences in general, and like it normally comes from like I'd say more. A lot of the stuff that I write about is like to do with like anxiety and just like somber stuff, dark stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So normally, yeah, that's where a lot of it stems from. Is just different experiences that I've had, and just like I'll sit down and write some lyrics just when I'm in a mood. Usually, I don't sit down when I'm in like a happy mood and I'm like, I need to write some lyrics for this. Usually, it's like when I'm pissed off or I'm in a a very somber mood. So that's usually where it stems from for me.
So
Kind of like what?
so it's emotion.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I was gonna say when your emotion is just kind of at a point where you have to get it out.
Right. It's kind of like journaling in a way.
It's like you have to have some kind of emotional release, and by channeling it into a song, you're able to do that in a way, right? Does that sound about right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely one way to look at it.
Interesting.
Just channeling all that emotion into one thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm sort of like halfway in between. I would say that like a lot of times with my lyrics, it's related specifically to like like an emotion or like a situation or something, like sort of like what you were talking about, Scott. Like something's just like really overwhelming, and I just put it into lyrics. But a lot of times with like the musical aspect, like the actual notes and chords and stuff that I'm playing, I'll just hear something and it's like, oh, that's really cool. Like the other day I was listening to Anderson .Paak. He did a live stream back in like February, and I was just listening to this performance and I was like, man, that bass part is funky, and I just sat down and wrote a bass part because I was just listening to it. It's like the idea of it just inspired me,
Yeah, that's similar. I was just gonna say actually, like sometimes, at least with like the instrument, like it'll come out of the blue, like this random rhythm. I'll wake up sometimes and there will be some jingle in my head, and then I'll forget about it and be like, "Fuck!"
It's the worst. It's the worst when you like hear something in your dream and you're like, "This is the greatest song ever," and you wake up and you're like, "Oh god damn it, I don't remember it."
Pretty much. Dude, I was talking with Vern the other day about. I know this has been overdone and overshot, but I feel like we could make it unique. The song by Gotye, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Gotye, Gotye. Somebody that you used to know song.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. And I had this idea, and initially Vern was kind of hesitant about it. He's like, I don't know, there's been so many different people who've done covers of this song. And then I showed him this version, and it's just been like ringing in my head all day pretty much, to where it's like, this could definitely be something more original. I'm kind of excited to show you guys it.
Okay.
So you all of a sudden you just had an idea to sort of just bing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I had an idea to where it's going to be a duet. Like you're going to do certain vocals, and then I'll do vocals, and of course Vern will do screaming.
That's
so
cute.
I think it's going to be pretty cool.
It's real cute.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's cute. I wasn't looking for cute, but okay.
How like sometimes an idea, it's almost like an idea is given to you from something else.
Yeah.
And like it just sort of, it's almost like you just see the idea rather than you coming up with it yourself. It just happens inside of your head, and then you grab it, and then you can do stuff with it. But inspiration is just like, boom. It just comes. It just passes through your head.
Yeah, it's very weird. That's like, I guess, what you could refer to like meditation in a way. Like you have a thought in your head, you sit down, and then you try to eliminate all other thoughts, and then something will eventually just, it's not always how it works, but sometimes,
Yeah, like a certain thought might be inspired that you typically wouldn't have thought of. You'd end up with a creative thought or something.
Yeah, definitely in those moments when you're, at peace. That's usually when those types of thoughts will come out of the blue.
Yeah, or if you can calm your mind down from its typical busyness, I feel
Right.
like they get into a state, and I think that happens too sometimes when you're playing and you're really completely like involved in what you're playing. It's like you're not really. You get to this space, and you could call it the flow state, but you're kind of like not really thinking about what you're playing, but you're completely
Hmm.
into in tune with it. Um,
All pun intended.
Nate, why are you like this?
do you want to get into that?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes, let's make that a whole topic.
No,
Please.
that was a
Let's-
rhetorical question. Please don't answer.
We'll leave it rhetorical then. Like you're completely involved in it. You're completely given to it in that moment. Not thinking about what's coming next. You just know what's going to come next, and it's like when you're in that state that you can play the coolest stuff, especially if you're like improvising.
Yes.
And it's like its own kind of meditation. And I think when you're in that state, your mind kind of gets out of the way, and it's like there's this undercurrent of this creativity that you can kind of dip your. It's almost like a well. You just dip it down into it and take up some creativity to bring out into the real world.
Mm.
Dude, have you seen the movie Soul, the new Disney movie?
Yes, I love that movie.
I've
So
not seen it.
they have the best like explanation for that
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
state. You know what I'm talking about, Scott. But there's a
Yeah.
point in the movie where they go to this place and it's like it's like where souls go when they're like really like deep in a trance or whatever. And it's like a super cool description of that. And I mean the movie's about like a musician, a jazz musician. So like when he's soloing, he like gets into that state and like just vibes or whatever. And
Right.
it's just really cool to like see that and like I don't know, it's a really
In
cool
a visual.
visualization, yeah, of
Mhm.
because I've never seen that like explained or like visualized before. I can't think of the word, but
Right. Right. Yeah, it is a very cool concept how they did that. It seems like they're doing that a lot more these days, at least with like Disney and stuff. Like going completely off topic here. Like what's that?
we've
other
been off
movie?
topic for like 8 minutes. It's fine.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. What's that other movie where it's about this one child and it just shows her emotions. There's like anger and then there's happy.
Shit. What's the name of that?
I know.
What's it called?
It's
You
like
saying anything?
it's like Feel or something.
I don't think that's it, but what's the name of that movie? Let's see.
Inside
here.
Out.
Inside Out. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. It's a good one too.
Yeah.
It seems like they're kind of just like grasping these concepts and just kind of creating some sort of animations out of it. I really like those types.
Yeah. It's a really like interesting idea to sort of to go after is that like internal process that everybody has but nobody really talks about, like to see it like
Mhm.
on screen as like a thing. That's really cool.
Right. Right.
And like they talk about, I mean, like one of the things in Soul, Nate, you haven't seen this movie, but it's very good. You should watch it.
You should watch it.
There's a scene, I don't want to ruin too much of it, but there's a scene where like this guy's like a middle school band teacher and like one of his kids is like a trombone player and is like super into is like she's trying to be cool and like not care about stuff, but she really likes jazz. And so she is that Vernon?
Vern. Hey, Vern.
Vern!
Hey, I just wanted to join for like literally 6 seconds so that I could say thank you so much, Will, for running a variety hour tonight. You're a fucking godsend. I will talk to you all later.
Love you, buddy.
But
I hope it sounds good.
Cool.
But yeah, so
That was
there's
literally.
literally 6 seconds.
Huh. All right.
Yeah, but there's this trombone player that's like wants to be cool and like not like anything, but she's like really good at jazz soloing, and she starts playing this stuff, and you're like, oh man, that's super hip, and he like gets really excited because she's really good at this, but she doesn't want to like it. And I feel like that's a really popular thing in this day and age. Like, you can't be like into stuff because like it's cool to just not care. It's like, no, we need to like talk about this, you know? And those kind of movies like bring up that idea.
That cool sense of aloofness.
Yeah.
Right. Aloof is definitely a good word for it. I think it's just the image that people in high school and middle school is like, you know, it's all about image pretty much, and that just not giving a shit pretty much is.
If you're too cool to you know.
You're too cool for school.
Imagine if. Oh God.
Scott,
imagine
you just sounded like 1,000 years old.
You did, yeah. Literally at that.
Great.
That like.
My.
In like medieval England, they're just like,
done.
yes, ye old plagues are ravaging the nation, but I'm too cool.
That's what they said, legitimately. It's in the Bible.
We're going to burn these women at the stake for being witches, but at the same time, I'm too cool for school.
No, I think it's because they're too cool for school.
They're too cool for school, therefore we have to burn them.
Yes.
Burn!
Yay, verily.
Oh.
But what was I saying? You had like an actual point before we just started saying nonsense.
Fuck. Damn it. Like I mean, if like you took that same approach to a date or something, you know, you're sitting there with some, and you got sunglasses on, you're sitting there at dinner, and they're just like, so like, what do you do? A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
They're like, what do you do? And you're like, man, I don't really do anything. I'm way too cool to do anything, you know.
What does anyone really do? And then,
Yeah. Bong hit.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. And sometimes women are turned on by such things like, oh, he's so mysterious. He doesn't care. It's like,
nah, he just sucks at a lot of stuff. That's what that means.
Yeah.
So that was a really good first question, Scott. What's our second question?
Yeah.
25 minutes later.
I got a really complicated, really complicated question for you guys.
Boxers or briefs?
What's your favorite color?
Oh. I had a different question. Blue.
What's the velocity of an unladen swallow?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
African or European?
What? I don't know that.
European swallow. Rump swallow? Is that what we're referring to?
I don't know.
Actually know something about this, Scott. Wait, Scott. What is the average airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? A European one, and whatever it was that you just said. Tell me. I want to know.
Swallow.
What kind of rump swallow?
What is the... Could you repeat that question again?
What is the average airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
The average airspeed velocity would be -20.
What? That's not...
So, backwards?
Yes. You got it. Catching on quick. Good. Cool.
Scott, have you not seen Monty Python?
I have not.
Oh my god.
You haven't seen Monty Python? You?
No, I have
You're
not.
gonna love literally every second of that movie.
You're gonna jizz your pants repeatedly. You're gonna create.
Can we say jizz your pants on Facebook Live?
Jizz in my pants.
I said, can we say jizz your pants on Facebook Live? Is that allowed? Are we gonna
Oh,
mess
we
up?
said it.
3 times all of us said it, so you know.
Yeah, I was proposing the question. Mine was an academic saying of the word.
Oh, I see. Mine was a proclamation of the future.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So
Scott,
I was
you're
the
gonna-
dirty.
Emancipation
love-
Proclamation.
Yes, that one. You're gonna love that movie. I promise.
Yes. Scott, you're gonna.
When am I going to watch this movie? Is my question.
I don't
You're gonna
know.
watch.
At some
We're-
point,
I thought it was wasn't it like a series of there's more than one?
there's a bunch of movies, and then there was a whole TV show called Monty Python's Flying Circus.
Of all of the people in the world, I would have thought you would be someone who knew Monty Python.
I would have thought that you owned everything that they've ever done.
Yeah.
Sorry to disappoint, guys.
You're gonna love it, man.
Yeah,
I've heard of it plenty of times. I just never have seen it.
Bro, you're gonna wet your pants in more ways than one. Like your Cowper's gland, you know that one that separates the semen from the pee? It's just gonna go like.
This is
I
really
like
good
that visual.
content, guys. I'm really
And
glad
that
we're having this
sound.
conversation.
Please do it again.
I'm very
Yes.
glad that I'm associated as a person with this conversation that's happening right now.
Thank you. Me too.
This is
Yes.
truly a treasure.
Yeah.
So my favorite
Nathan,
color is
what's your-
blue.
Okay.
Me too.
No shit. All three of us like blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
We're the same person.
what shade of blue is your favorite shade of blue?
Agua. I just threw that out there. Honestly, I don't know.
I feel like
I don't think that's a color. Agua?
Aqua. Aqua.
Aqua.
Blue.
I think it's-
aqua. I can get down with aqua. That's my birthstone. Is aquamarine. So it's got that blue greenish thing going on.
Mhm.
Kind of translucent blue thing. Yeah.
Makes you think of the beach and the palm trees. Good times.
I think mine's teal.
I forget which shade that is.
It's teal.
I have to look it up.
It's teal, Scott. That's
I
what
literally can't be more specific. That is the name for that shade of color.
Yeah.
Okay, but I forgot what that looks like, okay? Do you not understand where I'm coming from?
No, I
it looks
do.
like
I'm just giving you a really
Okay, I
hard
see
time.
it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, there you
cool.
go.
That's teal.
That's it.
Great.
That's teal. You're welcome.
Great.
I think-
Glad
if I had to pick a favorite
learned
blue,
this today.
a deep, like a darker blue, kind of like a nice sapphire. That's blue. That's the bluestone, right? That
Yeah.
deep blue
Yeah.
sapphire. But like one time, I saw this car that had this paint color. It almost looked like a mixture of sapphire and emerald green,
Ooh.
right? Kind of mixed together and kind of dark, you know. And I thought it was just really, really cool looking. That was all about. And I was all about that. It was kind of metallic and stuff. Yeah,
Hmm.
that was
That's
a
pretty
good
dope.
color. Yeah, bro, pretty dope.
Bruh.
Pretty dope. I
Bruh.
wonder how aqua blue would look on a car.
Weird.
Would I want a car with aqua blue on it? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think you would. That doesn't sound
I
like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a nice color. Just there's certain colors that just do not look good on cars.
You know what
True.
color looks really good on cars though? Purple.
What's that? Purple. Okay.
Like a purple like Dodge Charger or like a Mustang or
Mhm.
something, but it's just like
Mhm.
like royal purple.
Mm.
Royal purple.
Yeah.
Do you know where I was going with that? Well, do you know where that's from?
I don't.
Royal blue. No,
What is that?
nobody. You guys have never seen Liar Liar?
No.
I've never
Actually,
seen it.
It's
That's
on my
another
list. I
crap.
just don't have a way to watch it.
We gotta watch that.
Well, my goodness.
I know. I just have never had the
You're-
opportunity to watch it.
My
So-
goodness.
So Scott needs to watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and we
Mhm.
need to watch Liar Liar.
You need to watch Liar Liar.
And all
dude.
of us together need to watch both Ace Ventura movies. We just need to watch
Yes.
the entire filmography of Jim Carrey.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what needs to happen.
Let's make it a date night for all four of us, and
Cute.
we'll do some. Can't think of the word.
We'll do some
That's
yoga and watch Jim Carrey.
Yes,
And
we'll
drink
do a
wine.
marathon of Jim Carrey with some yoga. While we're doing yoga, we'll watch some Jim Carrey
and drinking wine.
and drinking wine while upside down doing yoga.
That'll be one variety hour. It'll be fun.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Danny,
Hell
what's
yeah.
up, Crumbs?
Who's that?
Danny Crumbs on. He is commenting.
Danny
What's up,
Crumb.
Danny?
How's
Danny
it going,
Crumb.
boss?
But Scott, apparently you could pull off the aqua blue on your car because you're very
Good.
pretty.
Because it's very pretty?
No, because you're very pretty.
Ooh. Who said this?
Danny Crumb says he's a pretty boy. He could pull off aqua blue.
I did actually.
Ooh.
I knew the
Ooh,
first
I'm
interpretation of purple, the power hungry. Well,
Yeah.
it's associated with power because purple's super expensive. The purple dye is super expensive to make.
Yeah.
Okay,
Going
Danny.
into that
Danny
whole
asked
subject.
what if we've gotten our stimulus checks and what we're gonna do with that money.
I have.
I did.
I have no idea. Save it.
I haven't gotten it yet.
I'm gonna replace the brakes and rotors on my car, and it's gonna be like $800 or something.
I'm gonna buy groceries and pay my rent.
No.
I'm going to use it for surviving, and that's it, pretty much.
Yep.
Dude, none of you
I
guys
guess-
have been over my house, but behind me, these cabinets are hideous. They need to be painted, so that could be one thing the money will go to. And then the tiling is all cracked up. And that's another thing I think we're going to get some vinyl tiling. It's going to look sexy.
That's exciting.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds
I guess
like
the rest
a
of
good time.
Yeah, I'm just gonna save it because I need to like establish
Right.
a save because I don't have that right now, and it makes me very uncomfortable. So
I
I'm gonna
had
be-
savings, and then I was a professional musician in a global pandemic, so that's gone.
yeah,
Oh my.
but
What a tragedy. What a tragedy this pandemic has caused on the musician's life. Ugh.
Indeed. Scott, you have another question?
Indubitably. Yes! What is a deal breaker for you when it comes to the opposite sex? What turns you off? This is a
Deal breaker.
cranium.
huh?
What?
I said I'm thinking out loud.
He's just thinking loud. Deal breaker.
I feel like if I would struggle to like conversate with someone, I
Yeah.
don't like.
Definitely. That's always a deal breaker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's like a deal breaker or whatever. Like, it's kind of hard to tell what a legit deal breaker is because I feel like when you establish a relationship with somebody, like if it's a deep enough relationship, there can be something very serious that comes up and you find a way to work it out. You know what I mean? Like something that might be considered a deal breaker sometimes for some people might not be a deal breaker in that case, depending on that individual relationship. But I think in general, you know, I'm someone who, you know, I'm sort of intellectually minded. Not to say that I'm, you know, that necessarily smarter. It's more like, what?
Nick, you're just
Not
like
to say that I'm.
yeah. No, you're just like yeah. No, I'm a lot smarter than a lot of the people that I date. So
No,
you know,
not. That's not. Hey,
it's
all
a
right,
real
I gotta
pain to be this
I had to
smart.
change. So I'm retracting that statement. I'm gonna. Okay, I kind of live in my head, and other people might live more like in their heart, or more in their activities, or more in their whatever. You know, it's just sort of where your main energy resides, I guess. And for me, that's sort of just in the things that I think about, I guess. And so I talk a lot, right? Because I just sit and live in my head.
If they can't have like a deep, meaningful conversation with you, then that's
Yeah, I struggle with that because
yeah, right.
I like to get feedback and reciprocity in that way. So
And going off of that, I remember talking to this girl on, I think it was either Plenty of Fish, OK Cupid, and she was very attractive, but she was very shallow-minded in the fact that she just for one, I can't say that I'm the greatest at spelling, but she was terrible, and I'm like, Judging by your pictures too, I guess it does explain it. She's got her tongue sticking out like this and like, doing that stereotypical, blonde girl thing. So it's like, okay, well, I guess this isn't much of a surprise.
Once Revealed does not condone discriminatory practices. Just want to put that out there.
Particularly on dates.
Right. No, I don't know. I think definitely like if you struggle to have like a conversation, because I've met people before where you like start talking to them and they just like don't respond, and like that's really rough. Like they're just like, hey, like how was your day? What'd you do? And they're like, it's fine.
They put on their shades and sit back and just
yeah. I'm too cool for school. It was
right.
Danny Crumb says, "Is it a deal breaker if I catch her making out with my sergeant in my new 4-door sedan?"
And
solid deal.
Danny also said, if Jennifer Lopez couldn't hold a conversation, would you really care? Yeah, I think I would.
I wouldn't care about that. There's people who are as attractive as Jennifer Lopez and who can hold a conversation.
The first thing.
Yeah, I mean, we're also talking, I feel like, about relationships. I mean, like a hookup would be a different story, like
right.
That deal breaker is entirely like physical, because like everybody has their own like type or whatever. But like, I feel like we're talking about relationships. Like, what is a deal breaker? Like, I couldn't date someone who does this.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, but I was gonna say with Jennifer Lopez, if she couldn't hold a conversation, first thing I'd do is giggity giggity, and then just not have a conversation with her afterwards and just kind of book it.
Scott, is your wife home in a different room?
Is she gonna like murder you or now? Like, I don't know.
Danny said, "Talk to me when you're old."
Talk to me when you're old.
This is cracking with Jennifer Lopez. You just hit it and quit it.
Yeah.
That's about that. Now we
hit
know.
It and quit it.
In case we wanted to.
This is hypothetical. This is nothing that will ever happen. Wife, this will never happen.
Oh,
it's all
good.
for the content. It's all for the content.
Do it for the gram, man. Do it for the gram.
It's for the greater good, I guess.
Okay, on to the next question.
Yeah, what's next?
Yeah.
If a genie granted you 3 wishes, what would 1 or 2 of those be? What would those wishes that you would ask for?
Well, the first one is 1,000,000 wishes, obviously.
Doesn't work that way, Will.
Well, why not?
Every genie will tell you that's just cheating. You can't do that.
What about 1,000,000 favors?
I think that's just the same thing, just in a different
form.
You
know what, Scott? What's the point of this game?
This isn't a game. This is serious. I'm asking you questions and you should answer. I'm just kidding. You don't, if you don't want
to. Isn't the whole point of the genie in the bottle that every time you ask for the wish, there's like a huge catch with it? Like that's always the thing. You wish for power, but then you get what you ask for, and then it sucks for some reason.
I think that's the devil. I don't think it's genies.
Yeah, that's the devil. That makes me think of that one movie. I can't think of the movie. Good.
Oh, no.
Danny said he'd allow it, so 1,000,000 wishes.
1,000,000 wishes.
What's that again?
Danny said he'd allow it, so 1,000,000 wishes.
Okay, so apparently Danny is a genie. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have to have a talk with him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Danny, we need to have more conversations.
We have more. So.
No, I feel like honestly, I think I would do like something that creates like financial security. So like, I would wish for like $10,000 a month for the rest of my life or something like that, so I never have to worry.
Yeah,
like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say something like that too, as far as like one of the wishes.
Yeah.
I'm assuming these wishes are more for like ourselves rather than like, we can wish for world peace or something like that.
I was just gonna say that. And I also wish for world peace.
Yeah.
Danny said, "Me a genie? Well, I am fat and I do wear those baggy pants." So yes.
What about the shoes that go like?
What about the I was
The
just gonna
pointed
ask.
shoes? Yeah, they go up.
Little pointed shoes. He's gonna have to send us a picture in the group. I want to see these. Anyway.
Like I guess the financial security thing would be pretty cool. I mean, I'm assuming that we're sticking with like things that are more just like a self-serving kind of wish, if that's the kind of wish. Or,
yeah.
Yeah, because then you can just do whatever it is that you want to do with it. Or if you want to really, I don't know. I feel like what might be a good thing to ask for, in a real way, is some attribute that grants you success, like something like. Wishing to be more disciplined, or wishing to, be wiser, or, to have a clear understanding of certain kinds of things or whatever. That could be a cool thing to wish for, because then you're wishing for something good that fundamentally alters yourself.
Right.
That, sort of breathe that life out into everything else that you do.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if you're making all the money in the world, you're not, you might not be happy with it, of course. If
right.
You're not like, with it in the head, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I guess it all comes down to like what you want to do in your life. And like if some genie or like somebody appeared and was like, "You just won the lottery. Here's a bunch of money." I feel like I would just continue doing exactly the same thing that I'm doing, but I would just have a bunch of money in my bank account. Like, that's exactly what I would do,
Yeah. David, I'm wrong. What am I wrong about? I say a lot of things in a short period of time.
He said there's only one thing to wish for, but he didn't type out what that thing is. So we're in suspense.
I'm anticipating this now. I am ready to see what this thing is.
It's going to be Jennifer Lopez.
It might be Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez that cannot hold a conversation.
that can hold a conversation. That's the dream.
That can.
She doesn't talk. She doesn't make any sounds.
That'd be weird. That'd be really weird.
Danny said, "What do I want in my life? Well, gee, I want to conversate with Jennifer Lopez." Yeah, no.
That's hot, he says.
Maybe she's a very philosophical person. We just haven't met her and talked to her.
Well, hey, I mean, she's a songwriter, and she's obviously really good at it. So, like, maybe she got a really wonderful sense of life and the words and stuff. You know what I mean?
That's my wish, to have an in-depth music theory conversation with Jennifer Lopez.
Music theory?
That would be terrible. Scott, what would you do? I guess, honestly, I feel like the better question that gets more at like the heart of things is, what would you personally do if money were no object?
Like if whatever you chose to do, you had the money for it.
Right.
Granted.
Yeah. Like you have the money for food and for your living arrangements and whatever you want to do, you have that money available to you. You don't have to worry about it. Just you can do whatever you want, essentially.
Yeah, what would you do?
I would definitely go travel. That would be definitely a big thing of mine if I had travel. Definitely, just travel the world.
Where'd you go?
I would start with maybe someplace in like Asia, like Tokyo or something. I don't know why that's the first thing that comes to mind, but I've always had an interest in that, in the culture of that area.
Interesting.
Or between that, I go to Australia, just because Australia is just
dope,
beautiful.
You're crazy. You better be careful. Kangaroos drown you out there.
Oh yeah.
Seriously, they'll sit there. Like, I saw this recently. They'll sit there in the water and they'll just have their head poke out. Like, you want to take a swim? You want to come out and cool off in the hot Australian sun? You want to take a little dip with me in the cool kangaroo? And we're gonna hop around
boom.
The water.
You drown.
You're starting to sound like Stewie when he's like, "Oh, you're making a little novel, huh?
Oh, you're making a little novel, Brian. You're making a little book. You're gonna write a book, and it's gonna sell many copies. And you're gonna... Yeah,
You got a good impression."
Oh, I'm sure it's gonna be wonderful.
Nate, what would you do?
On my dating profile, I'll end up getting grandmas because I'm a nice boy. Whatever it is I'm putting on my profile is going to attract a bunch of old ladies.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Hey, they'd probably make you lots of food, and it'd be awesome.
I mean, that would be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. And all I'd have to do is like...
Way to stay optimistic.
You're so strong! Yeah, this is picking up a gallon of milk. Yes, I am. Uh-huh.
This is a weird conversation again. How did we get back here? Nate, what would you do if money were no object?
Well, one thing I wouldn't do is work. I would, like, make a studio. Like a home studio. Not necessarily to have other people come record their stuff in, but just to record my own stuff. And I would do all that weird shit art music stuff. You know what I mean?
Puking on fucking brains and shaving your hair.
Nate's just going to record a bunch of music that nobody wants to hear.
That's
Not even
exactly
him.
That's exactly what the fuck I would do. I record a bunch of shitty music. That's what I would do. Yeah.
I didn't say it was shitty. I just said nobody else would want to hear it.
Well, it'd be a really cool chance to just, delve into that. And, I would just spend time just doing, like, creative endeavors, I think. And I would do a lot of traveling, too. I think that's probably a lot of people would end up doing a lot of traveling. I think it's something a lot of people would like the idea of, but there's just roadblocks in terms of finances and, whatever. So I would want to visit India. I would want to visit parts of Europe. I'm sure there's other places, but like those are the first two that sort of pop into my head. So yeah, I would travel. I would do art. I would, and I think the other thing I don't know what else I would do. That's basically what it comes down to.
I would also get a big variation of guitars.
Yeah. I'd do that.
Yeah. Dude, like I've seen, I don't know if you ever watch Herman Lee's podcast, but the guy has got over 130 something guitars. Like, just, he's got a guitar center's worth of guitars on his wall. I'm like, my goodness, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Guitars much?
That's ridiculous. Vern's got a lot of guitars right now. It's not 130, but his rack has gotten more in it.
Vern,
yeah. He's got a bunch.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm coming up at the studio with a decent amount of stuff. I mean, I've got 2 here. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at the studio. So 12 total.
Yeah.
That's more than Vern has.
Together,
Yeah,
Vernon and I have like a lot more. I don't know how many he has, but more than that.
I've got one. I have one guitar at my house.
Oh, you do?
It's like,
I remember that.
Yeah.
Guitar.
It's that I'm like kind of borrowing, but not particularly borrowing from that.
Sounds kind of like my sister. I was trying to teach her how to play guitar. I'm kind of calling her out right now. Love you, sis, if you're actually watching this right now.
She's like, fuck you, Scott.
I would like to invest in a new set of drums. I think that'd be a good investment because I'm still playing the kit that I got when I was like 12.
Dude, but it sounds dope.
It does sound good. That's the crazy thing about it. It's like an intermediate at best kind of kit, but like the bass drum has like a canon appeal, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it has a lot a lot of
punch.
It has a lot of punch.
Yeah.
Especially if you tune it right. I think it might have to do. It has metal rims as opposed to wood rims, and I think that has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But
indeed.
But I still get a new kit. And actually, what I want to get is a smaller kit that I can use for other kind of applications. Like if I'm doing a theater gig, I want to get one of those compact kind of little kits. You know,
one of the ones where like the one head like pops off, and you like put all of the like, stack them inside of each other.
Yeah, it's a Yamaha makes a kit like that, and my
Yeah.
teacher had one. Coolest thing in the world. Like you could carry the entire thing in 3 bags: cymbals, hardware, and drums. 3 bags.
Dude, that's nuts.
It was nuts. Yeah. So what would happen is the bass drum would actually come apart. You know, it had some latches and it would come off, and then you would like stack the 2 toms and the snare into that. But they're like scaled down, so you'd have like a 10 and like a 12-inch tom, and you know they're shallower. And the snare would be like a real small snare, like a 10 or 12 inch or something crazy like that. And all of these things would fit inside the bass drum. And you latch it in, and then you put that into a bag. That's all your drums. You'd have the stool was like on a cylinder that you would unscrew the top and put all your hardware inside of that wooden shell and keep all your hardware in that. You screw the seat back onto it, and then that's 2 bags. And then your cymbals would go in the 3rd bag.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and I want that kit. But if not that kit, then like, you know, like a small like breakbeat
Like a cocktail
thing or
kit.
something. Yeah, something compact and small. So I don't have to, because right now I've got this like big boomy rock drum set that if I'm doing a theater gig and I'm like underneath a stage and I have to work around like a pillar and a tuba player, you know, and you know I've got the tom is like on the other side of this like support beam and I'm like getting it like this, and, you know. Ridiculous, but
you mentioned band practice, and it's funny. I was watching something on Instagram earlier. It's like talented musicians or something like that. I think that's the account. And there's like I pretty much finished with a song, and this kid he just starts fucking ripping it, and everybody just sitting there like, what the fuck? And then the teacher comes around and is like, stop, and he just finally stops and just like. Yeah, I fucking nailed that. It's funny.
There's a video. At least it used to be. There used to be a video on YouTube of. It was a sound check for. I think it was Death. No, Napalm Death. I forget. It's some like stick band, like super heavy metal band, and I guess they were on tour somewhere in Europe, and like I guess the drummer got like really tired of like the sound guy, so the sound guy was like, all right, let me hear your kick drum. So he starts playing the kick and he's just like, keep going, and then he's like do, and then he starts going into this like fucking crazy drum solo, and like every time it's like 4 minutes long, and he's just playing like during sound check, and like he'll like start to slow down like he's gonna stop, and the guy's like, all right, can I hear? And then he just picks it back up and just plays over top of him. And he does that like 4 or 5 times, and finally he stops, and the guy's like, all right, let me hear your kick drum. And that's the end of the video. It's like, fuck you, man. I hate you. But, guys, I got to get going because I have a lesson, but we can do one more question just to finish everything out.
How ironic. I only have one question left.
There we go. Perfect.
Perfect. I knew this was going to happen too. What would you consider to be one of the worst jobs you ever had in your life?
I'm thinking of 2 instances. The job that I held, and then one was like when I was working for the guy building fences. There was one particular job during that. Working with him was cool. He was a great guy. Like I enjoyed that job. But there's one particular one that like sucked really bad. But the worst job I was Dunkin' Donuts, and that was the one in Martinsburg here. Like, just everyone was all the time. Like, no one was having a good time ever. Like, it just didn't. And most of the stuff was broken. You know, like people were just bitter and like what. They didn't.
But there was free donuts, right?
I mean, yeah, you could eat as many donuts as you wanted, but man, after a while, you just don't want any more donuts.
Yep.
I agree. I used to work at a bakery, and yeah, you eat your fair share of sweets, and then you're like, I'm done with this crap.
Yeah, it sounds like a really cool thing at first, and then it's like, well, I remember the guy who would go in there and bake the stuff at night. He had a smoker's cough, so he'd be coughing all the time, and he wouldn't necessarily cover his mouth.
Oh wow!
In
the middle of making a sandwich. Just keep wrapping it.
So that was, and sometimes Like, there was one time, this one girl, her paycheck bounced.
Oh shit.
Her like, the place didn't have enough money to pay us one time. It was so
The
bad.
Dunkin' Donuts couldn't pay, dude.
Oh, it was so bad. It was the worst. It was probably just something stupid, but like, God, that's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some like crappy jobs and just like the work was not fun, but I always found a way to like make it fun. Like there was a job I worked where I was delivering car parts, but I started working there immediately after they opened, so they didn't have any clients. The only thing it was owned by Fitzgerald and Frederick, so like we would just take like 4 parts over to Fitzgerald every day. That was it. And I was there for 10 hours. So I just bring books in and just read books or like watch Netflix on my phone or whatever. It was great. It was not a fun job, but like I made it fun. But I did have a job, my first job actually. I was a pedicabber in downtown Frederick.
Pedicabber.
Yeah,
I
so
thought you were gonna go a different way there. I was a ped.
nope, not that. Don't want that on the internet. No, it's where you it's like the rickshaw, but it's like a bicycle on the front. So I'm sitting there pedaling the bike while the people behind me are just sitting and enjoying the ride.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, it sucked. I made like I was on shift for like 8 hours at a time, and I would make like $200.
And I bet you were in great shape.
I was in really good shape by the end of the summer. I remember coming back to Shepherd, and I was like, man, I should start working out. So I went to the wellness center, like the gym at Shepherd, and I jumped on the bike, and I biked 15 miles in like half an hour. And at the end of it, I was like not even sweating. Like I just because I did that all summer. Like I wasn't even working.
Your legs are like tree trunks after that.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, it was like I was downhill racing, but I wasn't even doing anything. You know, it was something crazy like that. But yeah, that was a shitty job.
The that one job that I did when I was working for Dale doing the fences, we were doing it was like the first job that I started, but we put off finishing it. So this was the year that it just rained all the time. It was 2018, and it just fucking rained for all of 2018, right? So the field, it was a cow field, and the whole thing kind of came down in the middle into a bit of a valley, right?
Right.
Okay. So we did the whole perimeter, but we needed one to go down the middle, down into this valley area.
Aye.
Now, because it rained so much, it was a swamp.
Mm.
So his idea was, okay, we're going to wait a while. We're going to wait for this to dry up and then come back and do it. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, it kept raining and it did not dry up, so we just had to do it. So he couldn't get the tractor down there, or he had a dingo, which is like a little thing you ride. You stand on it and you ride it, and it's got like the treaded wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can put a forklift or an auger or whatever. But that could
It's like a bobcat thing.
Yeah, like a bobcat, like a miniature bobcat.
Mm-hmm.
But that couldn't make it down there because of the mud. So basically, we had to get close to it, get the post, which is about this wide and 8 feet or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Get that, like a bag of concrete, and like walk through this mud, and like my foot would go down into the muck like this deep. And then there was a so then I had so I borrowed his Gore-Tex boots, luckily. And that helped. But my foot would go in there and be like and I had like a bag of concrete or whatever it was I was carrying. Oh, it was a tough day, man. That was a terrible day.
That sounds awful.
Just pictured this. That's
It's
funny.
bad. It's bad. And it smelled like frog shit and everything. Ugh.
Frog shit?
Frog
What does
shit.
frog shit smell like?
Frog shit, man. I don't know what to tell you. Smells swampy, I guess.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about when you say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Well, what's yours, Scott?
Mine, I've had a lot of shitty jobs, honestly, but the first one that comes to mind for me was when I worked for Ferrogas. This company I delivered propane for and was working, I think I worked almost a 19-hour shift.
Jesus.
And
That's illegal.
it is illegal.
Oh.
It is. Yeah, there was many a times I did quite illegal shit for this company where they would have you work you're only supposed to be out on the road for, I think, 11 hours, and they had me working every day past 12 hours. Like, first month or two, of course, I wasn't familiar with the gadgets that you had to use, so it took me a lot longer. So every time I'd be the last person back, and I'd have to fill up at the end of the day, you had to fill up your truck with propane, so you're not done when you get back. So we work a good 12-hour shift, and then you got to fill up your truck with propane, and then you got to do all these logs and crap. And I'm like ready to get the fuck out of there. And man, that job sucked.
Yep.
It sounds like it. That's terrible.
Propane accessories.
Indeed.
Indeed.
And accessories, yeah, indeed.
All right.
Propane accessories.
It's
Okay.
been a good time, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us, Danny specifically, and everybody else who is on the stream. That's all we got for this week, so peace out. We'll see you next time.
Peace!
Not forever.